Hi guys, welcome back to the home and Homestead. My name is Rebecca, and today on the Homestead we'll be doing a water bath canning project where I'm making Strawberry Rhubarb Jam. This is a really classic flavor combination and it makes a wonderful homemade jam. You can use fresh strawberries and freshly picked rhubarb from your garden, as well as what I'm doing today. I'm using some strawberries that I had frozen and some rhubarb from our property that I had harvested, cleaned, and portioned out and put into the freezer. And now I'll be using them today to make this delicious strawberry rhubarb jam. So let's go head over to the stovetop and get this strawberry rhubarb jam cooking. Okay, so on the stovetop we have my 8.5 quart Dutch oven. I'll turn it up to medium-high heat. And for the traditional strawberry rhubarb jam recipe, which you can find in the Ball Blue Book or the Ball Complete Guide to Home Preserving, the recipe is 2 cups of crushed strawberries, which is about 1.5 pounds to 2 pounds of strawberries, to 2 cups of chopped rhubarb, which is about 3 stalks, and 1/4 cup of lemon juice, 5.5 cups of sugar, and 6 tablespoons of pectin. Now, I found over the years I've tried different recipes and ratios and things like that, and if you look on the internet, there's a lot of recipes that don't call for pectin at all. You're really relying on the natural sugar and pectin content of the ingredients and the lemon juice, and then cooking that jam up to the gelling point, which is about 220 degrees, and then you have a nice set jam or a soft spread. What I found is I like to do 3 cups of sugar per batch, and today I'm doing a quadruple batch, so I'll be doing 8 cups of the strawberries with 8 cups of rhubarb and then 1 cup of lemon juice. But you can play around with the ratios and recipes that you find online and see which you prefer. Again, the traditional I listed off, and you can check them out in the cookbooks that I mentioned earlier. So to the Dutch oven we'll add the strawberries and the rhubarb. And again, these were frozen and I just simply thawed them overnight in the refrigerator. Now you can use either potato masher or a meat masher. I like to start with the meat masher. It works really well to kind of break up the strawberries and release some more of their juices. Then as this mixture cooks up and it softens a little more, then I switch to the potato masher, and that gives a nice texture for the strawberry and the rhubarb. So to this we will add lemon juice. This is the lemon juice that I use. And since I'm doing a quadruple batch or 4 times the batch, it's a full cup that I'm doing. Then following the process in the Ball Blue Book, I'm adding the 6 tablespoons of pectin. I just do that for the entire batch. If you do a single batch, they say to use the 6. I'm doing it for my larger batch. We'll mix that in. And adding the powdered pectin, that'll just help this jam to thicken and become a nice spreadable jam. We'll bring this up to a boil. Alright, so the strawberry rhubarb jam is boiling here. So now we'll add the sugar. And as I mentioned before, the traditional recipe calls for 5.5 cups of sugar per batch. I have had good luck with 3 cups of sugar per batch, and then when I was researching different recipes, I like to try out new recipes from time to time, and I really enjoyed the tartness of rhubarb. So in order to try to keep that tartness, I wanted to find something that had even less sugar but still had a positive result. So I found a recipe that called for 2.25 cups and no pectin. So hopefully with adding 2.25 cups per batch, which is 9 cups total of sugar, with the pectin, I'll have a nice soft spread strawberry rhubarb jam. So now we'll add the sugar in and we'll stir it in until it's nice and dissolved. There we go. So now we're going to bring this mixture up to a boil that cannot be stirred down, and we'll let it boil for 1 minute once it reaches that point. So we'll let this strawberry rhubarb jam cook. Alright, so the strawberry rhubarb jam has come up to a boil that couldn't come down. It was about 220 degrees and it took about 45 minutes to get there. So I let this cook for another minute. Now I'll turn the heat off and we can add this jam to the warmed jars. There's a little bit of foam on top. I'm not too concerned about that. If you have a lot and you want to remove that off, you certainly can. Just take a spoon and just skim it off the top. So using my canning ladle and a funnel, we'll get the strawberry rhubarb jam put into these jars to a 1/4 inch head space. And I like to do these little 4-ounce jars as well. They're really great size for sharing or for adding to gift baskets or putting on appetizer or cheese boards and things like that. Alright, so now we'll just wipe the rims and side threads of the jars just to get any sticky residue off. This just helps to ensure a nice tight seal. I just use water on a paper towel. I have my water bath canner all warmed up and prepped to go with some water in there. And now we'll get the lid followed by the ring onto the jars. Just going to put these on finger tight. The ring is simply holding the lid on while it's being processed. And once it's processed and the jars have a chance to cool and seal, then the rings can be removed and used again for other canning projects in the future. The strawberry rhubarb jam has a really nice color and consistency to it. So I think I may have a winner here with the lower sugar option with the 2 1/4 cups of sugar. And then just adding that pectin that just really helped ensure that we would get a nice set and a thickening of our soft spread. But the true test will be after it's processed and it cools and truly sets. So I will have to water bath can this project in batches. Just perfectly fine. So let's get these into the canner. Alright, so we're over at the water bath canner. So we'll take the lid off here. Double check the temperature. Perfect. And we'll get the jars into the canner. In here I have some water and a jar rack or tray on the bottom. That way the jars can sit right on top of that. Alright, I was able to get all of the 1/2 pint jars in there. And they're covered with water by at least 1 inch. Now the minimum processing time for the strawberry rhubarb jam is 10 minutes. So what I mean by the minimum processing time is, based on your altitude, you may have to adjust the processing time a little bit. And by that, here we have the altitude chart, which you can find in the Ball Blue Book or in the Ball Complete Guide to Home Preserving. And on the left column is your altitude in feet, and based on that you would increase the minimum processing time by the number of minutes in the right column. So for the strawberry rhubarb jam, the minimum processing time is 10 minutes, and you would increase the time as necessary. So we'll let this batch of the strawberry rhubarb jam process, and then I'll get them out and get the final batch into the canner for processing. And then we can take a peek at the final product. Alright guys, here we have it. This is our quadruple batch of strawberry rhubarb jam. And the color and consistency is really nice and the taste is great. So I think I might stick with this recipe moving forward for the strawberry rhubarb jam. I really like the tartness of the rhubarb, and this allows that to shine through. Well, if you're interested in other videos on canning and other food preservation methods, you can check out my food preservation playlist. I also have a number of fruit as well as vegetable jams that you can make. You can check out those videos. I have some blackberry jam and strawberry serrano pepper jam, as well as raspberry and sweet heat pepper jam, and they're really neat flavor combinations that are wonderful either on a sandwich or just a nice addition to a charcuterie or cheese board, and you can put a little dollop on with some strong cheeses, and they're really flavorful and delicious. So you can check out those jams and other recipes. Or if you're interested in gardening or home decor or organization, I have some videos on those as well. Well, I hope you're having a wonderful day today, and if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. See you next time. Take care.